see. Weighing out work is pricey. Snakes on the road move shiesty.
Right, standing with me, I've got George Russo and Francis Pope. How did you think the film went, boys?
I think it went well, yeah, really well received, and so far all the feedback's been really positive, and yeah, you know, it's great. It's a culmination of 10 years' work, and it, you know, it looks like it's paid off.
Now, Francis, did you think that this day will come from the first day you wrote that first word on that script to today? Did you think it'd come?
It's been such a long time, really. I don't know, we sort of somewhere got lost in the middle, but then it come back, and here we are now. So I don't know, I think I've always believed in it. I think that the script stands up, the acting stands up, and thankfully we had the crew, and they sort of pulled it all together. So, you know, I'm just pleased it went, you know, the feedback so far anyway, seems good.
How did you rate George's performance as George? Got to ask it.
Top dollar, innit? Top drawer, mustard, always, you get me.
You know what, I just got to say, the reason why we did use our own names was because originally we intended to use a lot of non-actors. And our past experience of working with people that had never acted before, you know, like our friends doing short films that we'd done, you know, in the past, they just can't get their head around calling you like a different name, so they just always kept calling us, you know, George or Fran, and you kept having to, you know, cut and trying to tell them, you know, it's not George, it's so and so. So originally, that's why we kept our own names, you know.
There's a few little things floating up. Someone asked me today. They didn't even know it. They just went, it's a true story, right? Who's it a true story of, you or George? And I said, no. I said, it's not a true story. I said, they're characters that have been pulled from different places, and the story is anything. You could probably go down Oxford tomorrow and hear this story. Oh, guess what? Someone took me bird's money, and you know. So it's not a true story. It's just, you know, it's all fictional. But I suppose that's good, isn't it, Jay? Because it makes it look real.
A bit of a, I won't say about the ending, but it was not a bit of an unorthodox ending at the end, because I wasn't expecting what happened to happen just at the end. I thought it was going to go a different way, but you know, whose idea was that?
Well, all the ideas made on the film were all, it was a democracy, so we all decided, you know, no one sort of had total control. Someone would have thrown up an idea, and we would have all said whether or not we liked it, you know. So I can't remember who in particular came up with that idea, but we always wanted an ambiguous ending, because life in reality just goes on, you know what I mean? So we didn't want to close it, you know, because life, you know, does go on, and we wanted to sort of suggest that there's life after the film. So you know, that's why we chose such an ambiguous ending. But you know, I think it stays in line with the whole theme of the film, trying to be a real, honest, true film, you know.
I think in reality, that's what would happen. Really, you know, if you done that, if your relationship was falling apart and there was cracks and then that happened, I don't think you would. There's not a happy ending, and that's what we wanted to stay true to. We've always tried to stay true.
I think as well there could be an happy ending. You know what I mean? It could be an happy ending. Who knows? You know, so it's left open. You know, part 2. Yeah.
So was you? Obviously, it was the first time the cast and crew had seen the film. Was you, everyone who'd been chatting to everyone about the film? Is the general response that, you know, everyone was happy with what they was watching?
Yeah, people's feedback's been really good, but they've got to say that to me. And how can they tell me that a film that I wrote and star in shit? You know what I mean? So, nah.
There's someone down there that would probably tell you if that was.
There probably is, but all the feedback's been really, really positive, and everyone said that they found it believable and real, and that's all that really matters to me. And I think Francis as well agree, and Lee, that we just wanted to make something that was real and believable. You know what I mean? And that's what we went for, authenticity, and hopefully that's what come across. You know what I mean? So.
Right, well, listen, we're not going to take too much of your time, so go on.
Just while we're here, yeah, right, I just want to say, I haven't had a lot of time with G of late, but I just want to say, bro, we done it. Yeah, mate, you're a fantastic actor. I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. Well done.
We done it. Turnout, G, big stuff. Love you.
It got to a point where, you know, like, we wrote this film a long time ago, and it got to a point where, hold on now, we can't still play characters that are living at home with their mums, you know what I mean? It was starting to get unbelievable, so it got to a point where... Yeah, so we moved out. No, but we had to do it, and it was now or never. You know what I mean? And by the grace of God, it happened. We happened to get it made. You know, through a lot of people's efforts. You know, it just was all about timing, and we done it. You know, so who knows?
Right, boys. Thank you very much. Get back to your party.
Thanks.
All right.
iFILM London. Big up.
Who cares? It's time. Who cares? It's time. Who cares? It's time. I raven your Reebok work. Who cares? It's time. Who cares? It's time. Who cares?